Hello, hello. Let's get stuff set up here. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right, how's everybody doing? I don't think we have too many people in here yet, but hopefully we get a couple in. I'm going to do something kind of cool today. Something I use for most of my takes, actually. We'll give this a couple of minutes, see if we get an audience or not. If you're here, say hello. Oh, somebody just popped in, I think. Yeah, so going to make some aquarium lids today. Got a couple different cameras set up, a couple different camera angles set up. What I'm looking to make a lid for today is this tank right here. This is one of, hi Sandy, how are you? Good to see you. This is one of my baby clownfish tanks, and I need to make a lid for it. I like having lids on my tanks. As you can see, I run sponge filters in just about everything, and even though I don't need a sponge filter here, it's on a sump system, but I do it just for the aeration more than anything. Oh, Sandy, if you could please let me know how my audio is. I'm not using headphones or anything today. That'd be great, thank you. So yeah, I want to make a lid for it, and I got some stuff that works pretty good for lids. I'll share that with you guys too. And tools I use, even though most of the tools, like, you don't have to have all the tools I'm going to use. Oh, good. Thank you, Sandy. Good to know. It's very loud in here because I got air running everywhere and whatnot, all these fish tanks. So I wasn't sure how good the audio would be. But anyways, I guess I'll give you a quick look as we're getting started here. Just a quick run through on what I'm using to do this project. And what I'm using to do this project is polypropylene. This is corrugated polypropylene. So what that does over, say, Lexan or anything like that is it stays rigid. It doesn't lose its rigidness. And it's expensive. It's a lot less expensive than Lexan. A lot less. So that's like a half a sheet right there. This is a full sheet, just so you guys can see the size of it. That's a full sheet. It'll cost you about $70 at Home Depot, and it'll be in the greenhouse area because this is what's mainly used. Right now, it doesn't look clear, see-through, but it's got a protective film on it we can take off when we're done cutting it to the size we need. Move my camera a bit there. That big noise everybody just heard was our monstrous dog coming in. But anywho, that's exactly what we're going to use. So what we're going to need for this is a straight edge of some sort. I know it's a level. I use it as a straight edge. I use this as a square, which it is a square, just to make sure everything's nice and straight. This is the chintziest, cheesiest tape measure you've ever seen in your life, but it's going to work just fine for this. I like to use a Sharpie for marking where I'm going to cut, and optionally, a good X-Acto knife. I'm going to cut it using a jigsaw. You can cut it using an X-Acto knife. Much easier with a jigsaw. And I have a drill as well. The reason I have a drill is that I like to punch a hole in it That way I can use it as a feeding hole. I can use a feeding hole. I can use it as a hole just to get my finger in to take the lid out. Yeah, I always put in like 1.5 inch hole on the hole. All right. Who all's in here? I see we got a few. It's good. Hope I'm not talking to myself. Okay, so first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to measure. So I'll change the camera here and I'll show you guys exactly what I'm measuring. I'm getting all fancy here. I got 3 cameras set up. Okay, so we need to know how long it is and we need to know how wide it is. Additionally, there's obviously this. I'm going to have to cut a hole around. That's my water intake tube, but like so much salt creep, it's not funny. And this is one reason for a lid, will help with the salt creep. And I'm going to do this in 2 pieces. I want a piece that goes to like here, and then a piece on the back. That way I can just lift off the front piece whenever I want, and it's easy to look after. But that's just as simple as cutting it in half when I'm done. So we'll get our measurement. The outside, the measurement is 11.5 inches. So in order to have it fit well, I'm probably going to make it like 11.25, 11 3/8. So 11.5 and 23.5. So we're going to go 11.25, and we're going to go 23.25. Normally, I'd actually write that down just so I didn't forget it. Whoops. Go to the other camera. With all these camera angles and everything, I need to get someone to work here to do all this while I'm doing this. Okay. So here's our Lexan. Yeah, I'm already losing stuff. That goes normally. I always lose stuff. So we're going to go 11.25. I use a Sharpie. I like to use a Sharpie for the marks. $11.25 there. I have another lid to make after, so I'll just rip this all the way down. And 11.25 there. Measuring's easy as well because, let's see if I can get this close enough. Let's see. You can see all the ribs in it. So generally you can just measure alongside one of the ribs and you'll be fine. So I'll do that. Get my straight edge out. There's the spot. Give myself a nice line. A little fatter than a pencil, but we'll stick it up there. Okay. So, I don't even know if you can see it, but there's my line. I'll rip that all the way down, and I'll also cut right now for the length. And that was 23.5, and we're going to do it at 23.25 so it fits well. We'll rip that right in half as well. Any questions so far? Anybody have any questions? Again, if you're jumping in late, I'll tell you where you can get this material. Just ask. If you're jumping in late, you need to know where to get this material. Just ask in the comments. I'll answer. Okay, so we got our lines. I actually set up a table behind the main table here just because my computer is sitting on that table and it's not going to appreciate this at all the vibrating from the jigsaw. Now, like I said, you can do this with a knife. It's just a lot harder. It's got to be a really sharp X-Acto knife. You're going to have to take quite a few hacks at it. Or you can use a jigsaw, you can use a skill saw, you can use a hand saw. Basically, any type of saw will work. It's not difficult to cut. Watch your ears, possibly. Woo! The table move. We're getting low here. Okay. Get that back up. Okay. So, that's what we're after right there. Let's just do a quick check here. See how well it fits on top, and we're also going to mark out where it needs to be cut. Okay, so this camera here is not going to make this any easier. Okay. This, we're going to mark where we're going to have to notch it. Right here, and right here, and we'll put a mark. Again, very difficult with the camera, can't see, but the mark on how deep we have to go with it right there. Okay. All right, so we have our marks right here. We know we have to go in that deep. So this is where your square comes in. If you've cut square, but you can see it's right on that mark there. So this is where the jigsaw comes in handy too when you're doing this part of it. All right, so we'll do that. And then we'll basically just go around like so. Doesn't have to be super fancy. Doesn't have to look good, nothing. So we got that, and then while I'm at it, I'm going to cut this in half. So, like I said, I'm able to take off the front without having to lift the back around all that plumbing. There's our marks. And back to the jigsaw. See how low we get this time cut. So just like that, have our holes cut and cut in half. Let's see how it fits. First, before we do that, actually, let's try and get And you know what? We can take this plastic off now. So, just like that, just get a corner started. Peel. Obviously easier on one side than the other. And there you go, it's crystal clear. This stuff's so easy to work with. How long has this live stream been going? 15 minutes. 15 minutes, I just made a lid. Now, that being said, I am a carpenter by trade, so I'm fairly good with these tools I'm using. Might take you just a little bit longer, and it might not. But that's it. Lid. 15 minutes, done. Let's see how it fits. Hello, hello. So yeah, we'll click on this other camera, and then we'll see how it fits, and if it fits good, then we will come back here to the desk and take some questions. If anybody has any questions. All right. So, I'm going to do that. Now, this system, I already know this, that I need to lift up on the plumbing a bit to actually fit that lid on. And that's why I wanted them so tight. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm definitely happy with that. Now, let's see if I'm happy with this. That back lid has to get up. May have made this just a little bit too tight. We'll see. I did. So we're gonna just shave this down just a little wee bit. And actually, while we do that, I'll actually put a couple of notches in here for the hanging basket. I don't generally do this, but it's a good idea. And I do use this hanging basket a lot. So let's gussy it up a bit. Just give it a little wee notch. Nothing crazy. All right, so there's our notches. Like I said, I just have to give this just a little wee bit of a shot. You're done with breeding, eh? Oh, very, very cool. Your clowns in your, is that they call it an avatar? Look very, very cool. I actually just changed mine as well. My little avatar there to one of my pairs. Okay. Let's get this cut. Breeding is challenging. Breeding sometimes just isn't worth it. It's a pain in the ass. Try that. Got our notches. go. We've got our notches. Trimmed her up a bit. See how she looks. There we go. A little tighter than I'd like. A little tighter than I'd like still. But it fits. So now I'm going to trim this just a bit more. Just because it fits a little tighter than I'd like. And we got to put a hole right in the middle. That's what we're going to do. I'll just mark right now. Kind of where I want it. That's going to be kind of where I want it. Now I got to try and get this out of here. And that's why I said it's a little bit too tight. And it needs that hole. So if this is true, we'll cut it out. Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, I like the black storms. They're really neat. I think I'll eventually get a pair of them. Most definitely. I really like them. So we got 11 1/4. So that's going to give us, you wouldn't believe this, but I nailed it. I actually nailed it for where I wanted it to be perfectly center anyways. But cool. So we'll drill that out, give it a little trim. One more time here. Which side looks crappy? This side. Straighten that out a wee bit. Bad. And we'll drill our hole. Now that part never goes quite as good as it should. Made a real choppy, crappy, shitty hole. What I should have used instead of the spade bit is I should have used just a whole little bit. But I didn't bring one out. So this is where, Bill, I'll get to your question in one sec. This is where the knife comes in. Try and fix this mess up a little bit. You don't want to be sticking your fingers in like that. Some of this jagged crap out of the way. The stuff's not sharp. Like you can stick it there. I'm jamming my fingers on it right now. Softening it up. Anyways, it's a shitty looking hole, but it will work just fine, I think. There we go, folks. That is an aquarium lid in like less than 20 minutes type of thing. Yeah, that'll work absolutely great. So, Bill, this stuff is corrugated polypropylene, and corrugated polypropylene. You get it at, this is the size of sheets it comes in. I've done most of my tanks lids in my entire fish room with it. You get it at Home Depot in the greenhouse aisle. Sunlight is the name of it here. The stuff works good. It's easy to work with, works good, and it's cheap. So if you went to get Lexan, to do your lids, like you would pay absolutely so much money for it. Absolutely so much money for it. Lexan warps real easy. This stuff doesn't warp as easy, and it's not nearly as expensive. Thank you, Sandy. This stuff I use is 3/8. You can get it 3/8. I've seen it in 1/2 inch, but I only ever get the 3/8 stuff. I just happened to come across it at Home Depot and went, hey, that might work for some aquarium lids for a cheaper alternative. And lo and behold, it's worked great. Almost every tank you see behind me, that's what the lid is for them. There you go. I think that turned out pretty good for 20 minutes of work. And that helps keep my salt creep down. Everything keeps everything down. Evaporation, everything. I don't know if you can see in the camera what's actually in this tank. There's a few baby clowns in that tank. Yeah, plexiglass, it's always gonna do that. It's absolutely always gonna do that. It's hard to get away from it. That's unless you go with something like this that's corrugated, makes it a little more rigid. I'll give them a little food. Maybe they'll give you a show. Yeah, let's try our bullet. Oh, yeah. It looks like it works pretty good. Oh, they're hungry hippos. These things never, you can feed them 20 times a day. 20 times a day, and that's, they'd still come back looking for more food. Yeah, it'll work good. Yeah, that's one tank, Sandy. That's one tank. I'll get a couple more full of babies too. These are not quite my youngest. I have a batch that's younger than this, and I have a couple batches that are older than this batch. These guys aren't very old right here. These guys are, what would it be now? 35, 40 days, something like that. They all seem very healthy. They all seem very healthy. They won't fetch Black Storm prices, but they still do fairly good. I get a really neat mix out of this pair. Thank you. Thank you. pair here. Well, here's some older babies right here. These guys are a little bit older. They're nice, healthy babies. A couple of different designs in there, colors. These are all 17-gallon tanks. I have 4 of them across here tied into this for anybody who's not been here before. Does anybody have any questions about making these lids or anything else that you'd like to ask? If not, I'm probably going to wrap the live stream up since kind of got done what I wanted to get done on it. It actually went pretty quickly. Sandy, that's the reason I'm in the mess I'm in now. If they weren't so adorable, Nicole wouldn't have said, "Oh, let's keep them." And then I would have never tried breeding clownfish. True story. No, sir. I do a lot of different fish. For keeping fish, I keep some fish. I breed some fish. I do a lot of shrimp. Do a lot of placos. Do a lot of shrimp. Do a lot of placos. Do a lot of guppies. There's a few of my shrimp. Not very good fishing. A little better. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Oh, very cool. Yeah, I like the L33s. I mostly do ancestress. I do have a mature pair that I've raised to maturity of oh wow, my brain's not working today. Blue Phantoms, whatever they are, L128s, I believe. So I've been hoping they spawn. I've been doing a lot of conditioning to the tank to see if they spawn. And I had them, well, they still are, paired with 3 Fisher woodcats. And the 3 Fisher woodcats are doing all the spawning. And right now I have about 100 woodcat babies at about 3 inches. And there's a nice buried crystal red female. But yeah, so I do a little bit with the plecos. I've come up with a couple of different strains of ancestress. I enjoy playing with their genetics a little bit. I got some guppies. I don't know. Paracep nipigrinus. I have a 180-gallon tank of Paracep nipigrinus along with a bunch of longfin ancestress. Which, looking at it right now, needs to be unduckweeded badly. Wait till you see this mess. whole top of that 180 is duckweed. The entire top. Yeah, I don't think so. I just don't think they've spawned yet. They're extremely difficult to encourage them into spawning. I've not been successful yet. Like, I've never seen eggs from them. So, and I hear the same story from a lot of people, same song and dance. They get all 128s and they just don't get eggs. And then you hear stories of people getting eggs and raising them. But okay, like with all the videos out today and everything, take a video of it. Like, let's see some proof. I haven't seen any proof. So, as far as I'm concerned, I've heard a couple of stories of people being able to spawn them, but what you're going to end up with is wild caughts because they don't spawn very easily at all. Yes, I've done many a Burundi. Funny story with I used to have like a lot of colonies of Frontoses. I had Bismarcks, I had Mapipways, Imobas, I had Burundis, I had 7-bar Kagomas, I had all kinds. I just used to have a basement stacked with 135-gallon tanks. And I got the bright idea, I don't know what happened, but I got the bright idea one day to go and get some sips, Cypra cremonis. And I put them in with the fronts, thinking they were big enough. The fronts wouldn't bug them. And the next day, my son, he was like 4 or 5 years old, and he came waking me up saying, he used to go down and check on the fish. And he woke me up, told me there's something wrong with the Frontoses. They all had tails sticking out of their mouths. So that was an expensive lesson learned. But yeah, Burundis are nice. I like them, especially if you can get a nice blue Burundi. Some of them now I find are really black. I don't like that as much. If you can get a nice blue Burundi, they're nice. Oh, we're good. I'll have to get back to you on that, Sandy. That big plant is one. I got one plant from Steve Langley, and now I got them everywhere. The small plants in there, other than the Rotella, are the exact same as it. They just haven't gone crazy like that one did. Steve knows. I'll ask him. Or if he's watching, I don't know. He might be watching. If he's watching, you can pipe up, Steve. You know what it is. It just came from your tanks. So sorry, Sandy, don't have that answer. Yeah, it is. It really is, Bill. Uh, like I've gone to the extent of bringing my pH in that tank down to like 5.2. Still nothing. Still nothing. Feed them nothing but the best foods. Everything else looks like I got a male and 2 females, and I've seen them maybe try and trap. I can't be sure, but I thought I seen them trying to trap. I make my own caves, and they have good caves. I don't know. It's just really hard. So I guess I kind of give up on them. I didn't really give up on them, but I haven't been putting the time into trying to really trying to breed them since I got into the clownfish, just because they've taken up so much of my time since I got into breeding them. Well, if nobody else has anything to say, I'm going to shut this party down. So yeah, thank you everybody for coming and watching. And yeah, if you need some tips or anything on it, just rewatch the video. It's not. I didn't want this live stream to be overly long, anyways, because I want people to be able to go back and use it. So they can make these lids. So yeah, that's why I do these. Yeah, yeah. Sips are their food source. I honestly didn't even realize that when I put them in the tank with them at that time. I'd never even researched what their actual food source was. I just knew they ate everything I fed them. And yeah, I might move to wood cats. I've actually been thinking of selling the wood cats. I have a trio, a male and 2 females, and he breeds with both females, and I get tons and tons of eggs. So if anybody'd like to send me an offer, go ahead. I'm not quite sure what to ask for them yet because I don't know of any actual proven breeding trios out there for sale right now. So if anybody's interested, let me know. But other than that, that's a wrap. Thank you, Sandy. Appreciate you stopping by, helping out. Okay, everybody, take care. Bye for now.